Biden did the right thing by not running, but I wanted to run against Hillary anyway, so I'm really happy.
Well, he's confident. Donald Trump, right there with his analysis of Joe Biden's decision not to run. The Donald has maintained that he's going to be the Republican nominee, and most polls say he is the front runner. In fact, Politico put together a panel of top strategists, and on that panel, 81% say they believe Trump's chances of winning the GOP nomination are higher today than they were just a month ago. For more, let's call in our political panel. Checking in via Skype from Nashville, Tennessee, Scottie Nell Hughes, the news director for the Tea Party News Network. Also joining us via Skype from Indianapolis, the senior project manager for Hathaway Strategies, Pete Seat. Pete, of course, also served as communications director for Indiana Senator Dan Coates. Before we get to the presidential race, Scottie Nell, the Justice Department announced this afternoon it's ending its investigation into that IRS targeting scandal and that no criminal charges will be filed against Lois Lerner. Your reaction?
Sad, but not surprised, JD. You know, they came back and they said that she used poor judgment, but nothing she did was of a criminal nature, despite us finding emails time and time again where she said disparaging language against conservatives, against conservative groups. And when we have shown the conservative groups took years to get their 501c3 status, where groups like the 501c3 of Media Matters took merely weeks. This is very sad, but like I said, we're not surprised. And hopefully a new president will come in and truly be fair and equal when it comes to dealing with all of these nonprofits.
Pete Seat, I don't know, you going to have a big amen on that one, or your take on Lois Lerner escaping criminal prosecution?
I couldn't have said it any better myself. It's hardly a shock that the Obama Department of Justice would conclude their investigation in this way.
Well, now let's turn to the race for the White House. Scottie Nell, Trump continues to ride high. There's some polling in Iowa that might concern him a little bit, but do you think he is on track to win the Republican nomination?
Well, I remember when President Pat Robertson was elected, and President Santorum and other evangelicals have won. Listen, I'm as evangelical as you can get, and Iowa is where the evangelical Mecca is, I've decided. And these are where 69% of people believe that there should not be a Muslim ever be president within the White House. These guys are truly what this is the buckle of the Bible Belt. That being said, the comments that Ben Carson has made has definitely resonated, and the Carson campaign has made this their state. They've poured all of their money. They have literally burned through the majority of their dollars in Iowa itself, not to mention the $1 million blackmail of Club for Growth that has been pouring into the media of Iowa. I am not surprised. I mean, Donald Trump still is human. He's not the superman of presidential candidates, that you did see this switch up in the polls in Iowa. The question is, how does the Trump campaign handle it moving forward?
Well, it sounds to me like you've given them a suggestion, lower expectations for Iowa. Pete, your take on Trump and his front-runner status for the nomination?
Well, as you've both alluded to, for 100 days now, he has been leading each and every major poll that's been released up until just the last few hours, where Ben Carson is leading in Iowa. Now, whether that's the beginning of a new pattern or just an aberration, we're not going to know for several days yet. But in the end, I don't think Donald Trump will be the nominee. Could he be the nominee? Sure. Anyone that's on that debate stage could be the nominee. You know this business as well as I do. It can be crazy and anything can happen.
Well, let's turn to another. Well, I tell you what, I've got something else I need you to comment on, okay? And that is a guy I met with a couple of days ago in Las Vegas, former Florida Governor Jeb Bush. He's having a tough time out on the trail, now reducing salaries of some of his staffers. What happened to Jeb Bush, the front runner? This model has completely gone away. Pete Seat, is he at a point where he has to do radical surgery to save his campaign?
Well, this is a recalibration so they can stay in it for the long term. You remember their initial strategy was shock and awe. They wanted to effectively scare other candidates out of the race with a huge organization and boatloads of money. But just like John Kerry in 2003, John McCain in 2007, right about this same time in the fall, he's going through this recalibration. You know, Kerry had to get a second mortgage on his house. McCain's entire campaign imploded. They ultimately both won the nomination. So I think it's a smart move. We're going to make a lot out of it, but it could pay off in the end.
Well, that's very interesting. A recalibration. That's
spin right there. That's
well, yeah,
spin.
but the vagaries of politics, Pete has a point, citing those historical examples. But Scottie, I'm interested in your assessment of the establishment candidate who will emerge. Pete says keep your eye on Jeb, but right now another Floridian, Marco Rubio, is suddenly picking up steam. In a lot of polls, Marco checks in third or fourth behind Dr. Carson and Donald Trump. Your take in the 30 seconds that remain.
Absolutely. Well, let me say this. Jeb is as scary as Barney the dinosaur. So good luck with your recalibration. I guarantee it's going to be more I love you, Chris Christie, Kasich, and all the rest of the establishment guys that got in there. That's what foiled Jeb Bush's plan. Marco Rubio is in an interesting position of all of them. If anybody can span both the conservatives and the establishment, it is Marco Rubio. Neither side 100% loves him, but neither side 100% hates him. I think Marco's a good in-between candidate. I'm really actually hoping him to be Donald Trump's VP.
Scottie Nell Hughes, and well, I got some problems with that. Scottie Nell Hughes and Pete Seat, our thanks to you both.
VP, not number one.
Still, that's okay. Well, people may want to comment on what you had to say and what I had to say and what Pete had to say, and here's the way you comment to us. You go to newsmaxtv.com/comments. When we come back, I should say, a new poll on concealed weapons is out. We'll talk about it.